This is breaking news.
What is cult voice? Former Mormon reveals fascinating way her speaking tone completely changed while she was living inside ultra-religious sect, admitting she sounds unrecognizable since fleeing the community. A former Mormon has shared insights into how her voice has changed since leaving the ultra-religious sect in her late 20s. Alyssa Grenfell, 31, grew up within the confines of an ultra-strict household but escaped the uptight lifestyle and began to focus on reclaiming her body after leaving the Mormon church with her husband in 2017. In a recent clip posted to her popular YouTube channel, Alyssa re-watched an interview from when she was still entrenched in religion and had just come back from a missionary in Colorado, admitting she barely recognized herself. The missions, which last from 6 to 24 months, are voluntary and involve church and community service and humanitarian aid. This is the most Mormon version of me, and I feel honestly like I don't recognize that girl, Alyssa, who now lives in Austin, Texas with her husband and 2 children, admitted. She addressed the fact that her voice sounded very different to what it does now, noting it was higher and softer. "You probably already heard it in the clips I've put in so far, that my voice is different," she shared. "I have a different cadence, I have a lot more pauses, I speak a little more slowly, and the tone is higher. Some people call this the baby fundy voice, the baby fundamentalism voice," she shared. Alyssa, who has written a book called How to Leave the Mormon Church about her experience, said it was called that because the tone of voice was common for women raised in a fundamentalist or very high-demand evangelical types of religion. In Mormonism, you often are trained to speak differently, especially as a woman, Alyssa explained. This involves speaking a little bit more like a child, to speak a little bit more humbly. It's more of an upspeak, speaking with a higher tone to sound more childish. This is a way that you hear all the women around you speak, and this is a way that you know you're kind of trained to share your testimony of God. In the video, Alyssa had written, "It's a very submissive voice." The mom of 2 said she didn't think she'd be able to do the voice anymore. "It's a different voice, it's fundamentally a different voice, and it's a cult voice," she reflected. Alyssa said she had complicated feelings while recording her testimony, recalling her mission being very difficult, but she couldn't share her true feelings because they were meant to encourage and inspire younger generations to do the same. The former Mormon also touched on how dangerous the missions could be, especially for women, and that they tended to focus on the etiquette of missionaries rather than their safety. "There are women who have died on their missions, and there's women who have been raped on their missions," she shared. Alyssa acknowledged men were in danger too, and that a man on her husband's mission had a knife pulled on him. "We were all a little worried about dying," she admitted. "I really do hope they're doing more to train women specifically about how to stay safe while they're out there knocking on doors talking with everyone. I hope that they're doing more now, because I do feel like there was nothing." Alyssa said it can be jarring to watch back on the videos of herself when she deeply believed in Mormonism. "I was so sure about Mormonism back in this video, and now I don't believe in it," she said. She continued, "It's confusing, it's hard to look back at yourself and see what I was then and now feel so differently." Alyssa Grenfell regularly shares tidbits from her past Mormon life to social media, documenting her journey from active church participant in the ultra-religious sect to finally leaving the group. She recently shared the bizarre list of rules she had to follow when she was a member of the strict religious group, from a ban on coffee to extreme regulations about dating. Alyssa explained that Mormons follow a health code called the Word of Wisdom, which was a scripture essentially given to Joseph Smith when he was organizing the church in what was supposedly a health code given to the saints for them to follow. While the former members said there was a movement to scale back on the very rigid set of rules that the church enforces, she said the religion itself was always going to center around a set of rules and obsession with purity.